John, hi, Dave Lilienfeld. Good, good. Yeah, I'm calling to follow up with you after the performance issue that you had on your HP array last week. Yes. Yes, no, I know. And I know it was an ugly situation. Absolutely. So one of the things we talked about was, what EMC could potentially do to help you avoid that type of situation in the future. And I didn't feel like last week was the right time to talk about it, but I think now that you're past the issue and your team has recovered, so to speak, I think that I would like to follow up with you and talk to you about Extreme IO. Okay. No. I know you've looked. I know you've looked at Flash in the past, and your team has ruled it out. But Flash has changed in a very significant and meaningful way over the last 10 years, and I would love to just take a couple minutes and talk to you about it, if you're okay with that. Okay. Well, it's really about the evolution of the Flash array. So if you go back, 10 years ago, maybe even 12 years ago, a lot of customers like yourself started introducing Flash into their standard legacy arrays. So way back then, even in your case, you had a VNX that had 10K drives, and you started introducing Flash drives, and you created tiers within the array. Right, exactly. No, I completely understand. It was very difficult to manage. There was a lot of manual movement of data to the different tiers of storage. And although it did help in some cases, it created a lot of complexity. Exactly. And those arrays were just standard arrays that had Flash capacity in them. So very, very different type of situation that we have now. That's really what we call Generation 1. Generation 2 came along, and that was really more about the Flash optimized hybrids. So you had, companies like TinTree come out, Nimble, that came out with Flash optimized arrays that also had other types of capacity like SATA drives. So you would have typically 2 drive types, including Flash, that would be optimized for Flash. And to some degree that helped. Where that fell short was there were very limited data services. The scalability was very low. Even when data services were there, they oftentimes turned off. And most often they were dual controller type architectures, which in your case, you view a multi-controller architecture to be tier 1, right? So some of those players are still around today. Then it really moved on to the scale up all Flash array players. Oh, an example of that, like a Pure or like a Violin or an IBM TMS. So those players started coming out, and they started, introducing more data services. But again, they were typically dual controller architectures like a VNX. They were typically, some of them had data services and some didn't. The vendors that had data services, oftentimes the data services could turn off, so that would not help with a performance situation. Garbage collection could bring those types of arrays to a halt, which was not something that you could stand for in a tier 1 type of array. So, and those players, again, just like the Generation 2 arrays, are still out there today. And then you get to the Generation 4, which is Extreme IO. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just take 30 or 40 seconds just to explain why the Generation 4 Extreme IO is different and could really help you. Okay, good. I appreciate that. So first of all, it is a multi-controller array. So you can have up to 16 controllers versus 2 that you would have in our competition, like Pure, for instance, which I know you're doing a proof of concept around. Right. So as you add nodes, you add controllers, and you increase the scalability and the capacity. Also, we have guaranteed always-on data services. Examples of that? Okay, so data services like compression, deduplication, right, thin provisioning, unlimited snaps. Why would unlimited snaps help you? Well, if you have a developer out there that needs to have many copies of the data, but doesn't want to have a less performing array to put some of those copies on, Extreme IO can keep an unlimited amount of those snaps in cache. Exactly. Again, guaranteed, always on data services. You were told we don't have replication. We do now have replication with Recover Point. Yes, exactly. So your general purpose arrays out there can be converted to Extreme IO using Recover Point as the replication vehicle. And deduplication, absolutely, you're right. So deduplication is what keeps the cost down. So the one thing I would say is that please don't think that Flash is just this expensive tier that you can't afford. Because of data deduplication and compression, it keeps the cost down to the point where, in many cases, it's actually less expensive than your current Vmaxes, your HDSs, and your VNXs. No, all we would like to do is just give us an opportunity to talk to you about specific workloads that you'd like to do a proof of concept on, and then we can take it from there. Okay, good. Listen, I appreciate the opportunity, and I'll follow up with you over the next couple of days. Great, thanks. Bye-bye. I'd like to nominate my district to do the same thing. Do it in your own way. Be flexible and have fun with it. Bye.